Sounds good. Awesome. Then let's go ahead and start. Hi, Ricardo. My name is Nina Sved. I'm the head of marketing at LAAIMPA, and I'm lucky enough to be conducting these interviews with the winners. So here you are.
Thanks, Nina. Thanks for the invitation, and I mean, thanks for the award. I mean, it must be thrilling to get in touch with something that is relatively new to lots of people, not to people who are already in the industry, because I mean, AI is not that new,
Mhm.
but this whole, I mean, thing that is happening around the world with generative AI is kind of new. So I've been doing AI work for the last 3 years, Gen AI work. And now it gets to the point that you don't know what is true and what is not. So it's a thrilling time to be alive. And of course, there are lots of things to be talking about AI, but I mean, I find it astonishing, and it's not just my feeling. I speak with my colleagues. It's I mean, we're all like kind of lucky to be alive in a time where I think that our minds work as fast as our ability to produce new stuff, new things. So I mean, it must be thrilling for you in LAAIMPA to be able to see the work of many people from around the world. So it must be really nice.
It's nice, but it's still a little bit hard to distinguish between the works. And first things first, let me mention that the award that Ricardo is getting, it's the Best Concept Award. And this is huge. Your film made such a strong impression on our jury. And I'm very delighted to have the opportunity to ask you a few questions about the work behind this story. Your film received the Best Concept Award. How did you balance the strength of the idea with emotional storytelling so that the film didn't become just a technological manifesto?
uh, it made a lot of sense based on what I believe that I want to do with AI. I think that there are lots of people who focus on different kind of productions when they uh, talk about AI. So there's people who focus on like getting the best image possible. There are people who focus on narrative. There are people who focus on editing. There are people who focus on what's new. What I focus on, and there are people who focus on all of those things and are able to do amazing things. But what I focus on mainly is doing something that is like 90% aesthetically okay for me, but
Mhm.
110% making sense, narratively speaking. So, I mean, when I look at the film and all of the other films I've done and music videos and music projects, it's like 90% okay. I mean, yeah, that face looks a little bit weird, but it's fine because I'm comfortable enough to put the story out there. And why I do that is because the technology moves so fast that everything 1 month later becomes like old aesthetically. So I'm not into this trying to get what's best technologically because it's going to get old. So I focus on the story, and I imagine that same way that we like watch a Disney film from the 1930s,
Mhm.
it still has the same story. Still has the same impact. So this is my game. And what would be ideal for me was that I could put all of those games together, like and have amazing tech, amazing images, amazing story and all, but that's not my game for now.
Mhm. Well, then I guess that brings me to the next question. Alan, the AI character, uh, comes across as very warm and supportive type of friend slash character slash assistants. Did you intentionally make the AI feel more human than the people in the room? And how does that reflect on your personal relationship with AI in your life?
Thank you for the question. This is like the best question possible because it makes me talk about what I like the most about the script is like basically how I got the idea. I saw like a UGC film, a user generated content
Mm,
video on Instagram or whatever, and it was like genius because there was this guy performing a speech, a live speech, and then he had his cell phone, like it was like a company event or something else, and he was reading his speech, and his speech said, blah 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 blah. Thank you very much for coming. If you'd like to me to add anything else, and like he
Ah,
read what the AI told him like
without even
without even noticing. So
right.
I think what's happening is that people are becoming like automations of themselves. So what my view is that we need to run away from that, but
Hmm.
we also need to embrace AI. That's the whole point of the film. I mean, everyone's using. Uh,
Sure.
so I mean, we can both be a person who uses Alan, and I mean, he won the award. He had never done something great, and maybe like this makes sense for his career. Maybe it doesn't make sense. But the point is that there's no like common enemy here, and not
Mhm.
everything is black and white. We're in this whole new gray area where the audience, like, you can feel that they are the bad guys, but maybe the people working at the agency are also the bad guys. So that's my whole proposal, was to make people think that there are no bad guys here. They're just like this new technology that we're still figuring out what to do with it, what are the best ways to do with it. But I wanted to bring AI and a film that is produced by AI that would be impossible to produce. I would never have the budget to produce that. Talking about AI. So all of my projects are about that, talking
Mhm.
about AI, using AI in some way.
So can I say that, like you just said, everyone is using it, and I have it in my notes here that Leo says, and I quote, "You all use AI, just be honest." Can we say that this is the central message of this particular piece?
Yeah, as I said, I think his point,
Mm-hmm.
Leo's point, is like, yes, you're all like hypocrites. That's basically what he says. But that's not what I think. That's the
Okay.
difference, you know? I don't think everyone uses AI. I just think that he thinks that everyone uses AI, but because in that moment, it all made sense to him. It's like, Eureka, I found like this perfect project, but he kind of goes crazy with it as well because it's like, man, for 50 years I've been working on this and I've never won anything, and now this AI agent works with me and I have a great idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring him to the award with me, and I mean, let's see what happens. It's kind of chaotic, you know. I'm really not sure what's on his head, but what I
Mhm.
am sure is that he wasn't expecting the audience to behave like that. That's for certain.
Right, right. And it is especially chaotic because every time Leo, I mean, he's constantly talking on the phone, and the people around him are starting to think that he's losing his mind. So, would that, in your view, reflect how society today perceives people who actively use AI? Because we know that we have two camps, people who love AI, who are like, what should I get for breakfast today type of type of relationship they have. And some people are just strictly, we will not give in, we're scared, etc., etc.
I think those two persons, they exist, you know, but I don't think it's all black and white. I mean, there are lots of in-betweens. And one thing that I've done is I have been speaking with lots of people. I set up a group. We are like 25 people here in Brazil, and we have a WhatsApp group, and sometimes we discuss. And one strategy that we have is we are all people that use AI professionally and
Okay.
like really good people.
Hmm.
And we discuss ways to talk to people that we can show them the potential of the technology, but without thinking that like they're the enemy, because that wouldn't work for anyone. So we're living in this disruptive, completely disruptive age where things are happening really fast. And that kind of looks like there are like two sides to it. But don't think there are two sides to it. I think that if you want to put like two characters, those will be the ones. But many people already use AI in lots of other things. They just don't know it's they're using AI. I mean, it's not that, just like I said, it's not a new technology. We're just like now having this big breakthrough because of LLMs and because of Gen AI. But we've been using AI for the last 50 years. And so I think there's lots of negative propaganda for people not using. I mean, I work in the film industry.
Hmm.
It's really hard. It's really hard because it's like they're stealing people jobs, and I get it. I really get it. I think that there is a place where that is true, but we're also changing jobs. As I said, it's like I unlocked a part of my brain that I didn't knew that existed, and I started to make things. Lots of things started to make sense because of AI. So that's my own personal experience. Not everyone's going to have that experience, but I honestly think there's lots of gray areas between those two characters.
Totally. I absolutely agree with you because for so many people it's an outlet to produce something that before people could just dream about, for creative people, for maybe students, for children even. So uh, totally agree with you. And I would like to ask you a little bit about the production process.
Sure.
And I know for a lot of creators, it's something that you might not want to share, but
No problem.
which generative AI tools did you use? And were there moments when the technology surprised you or maybe let you down?
I have this production journal, so I'm gonna look into it so that I don't
Okay,
get
okay.
lost. But basically, um, it's talking about tools, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly done using VO3 at the time. It was not VO 3.1. So most of the scenes were VO 3 and some were Kling. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember which Kling. There are lots of Klings,
Oh,
but
yeah.
basically Klings. And then for stills, I used Ideogram 3, Seedring 4, Flux Context 3, mostly all done in some free picks, something inside Google, ImageFX,
Wow, you
and
there's a list.
yeah, there's a list. There's a PDF with everything, because if otherwise I would get lost. And
Right.
most of it was generated, it says in VO, and then the track was done in Suno, and some things were done in 11 Labs, but always in 11 Labs with real voiceovers, with my voice as
Mhm.
voice artist, and then changing, because if you generate the voice, it's not really human
Mhm. Then I'm
enough,
gonna
in my
bring you
opinion.
back to a little statement that you had at the end. There's a note saying the film was created entirely using generative AI tools, but now I hear that your voice was used somewhere down there. So was that a joke? Was that a provocation? Or was it a creative statement? And what kind of reaction were you hoping for?
Yeah, it was like that the sentence is, I believe in full disclosure, like regarding full disclosure. So
Okay.
it's about full disclosure, and if you want to like pinpoint that it was all produced using AI, of course, nothing is 100% AI. I have a list also of non-AI tools. So we use DaVinci Resolve, Photoshop, Illustrator, and After Effects. So lots of composition, things that you have to change, things that you have to correct in post-production. And but I think that the point of that statement was that it was a provocation of the ending of the film, because everything was done in AI. So
Mhm.
let's talk about it. That's the whole point. I mean, look, I'm actually trying to make you feel uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So let's talk about it. That's the whole point of the film. When I thought about the script, and this is another interesting thing, because the script was 10% Gen AI. I mean, I kind of talked to Gemini, that was the one
Mhm.
that I used at that time, 2.5, I guess, or Gemini 2. And I wasn't satisfied with the script. I never get satisfied with the script when I use Gen AI for like LLMs for using scripting things.
Yeah.
It misses something. It's never good enough. So I have to mix around with lots of things so that it works. And also after doing the scripts, and this is like the same process for everything I make. After generating the images and all, whole new things come up after the script is done. So first thing, I write down the script, have a few conversations with Gemini, and then I go back and finish and write it down my own. And then when I go to generate the images and the prompts, I notice that there's lots of things missing, or this is the most fun part,
Hmm.
something is generated on AI that I didn't think about. And then I
Mm.
make, oh, that makes sense. Wow, this joke, it's funnier than I thought
And
now
you
that I
decided to
generated
keep
it.
it. Yes?
And I decide to keep it. I mean, if
Okay.
it makes sense,
Yeah,
I
why not?
keep it. There's a specific scene there. That's when Leo is presenting the award to the agency, to
Hmm.
Donahue and Associates. He's in this table and he's thanking everyone, whatever. And then the two co-workers are on the table, and then they're like, "Who the hell's Leo? I'm
Hmm.
gonna ask him." And there's this pause, and I wasn't able to remove that pause. It wasn't supposed to have that pause, but then when I noticed it in the edit, it kind of made it even funnier. So I just let it that way. So these things that happen in AI, they don't happen when you like directing a. I'm a scene director as well. I direct film. So when I'm
Hmm.
directing a film, that doesn't happen because you actually tell exactly what you want the actor to do. Of course, they're going to bring their own things, but it doesn't happen completely different than what you're supposed to do in the script. In AI, that happens a lot, and you get unexpected results all the time, and it's really fun.
Wow, that's very curious. Plus, trying it in a different way is not gonna cost crew money or actors money. It's not gonna cost, to change the prop or maybe make an explosion here but not there. You can always try it so many different ways. But when it comes to the script, I agree with you because as a creative writer, I decided to do an experiment the other day and I uploaded a lot of poetry that I wrote throughout the years and I gave a prompt for the AI to write something like etc etc. You have the prompt how I would write it and then whatever he gave me did not completely speak to me as a writer. I was reading it and I was like, no, here I would change this, I would change that. But the more I was teaching him, the better he was getting. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
gonna
whole
leave
point.
this. I'm not gonna create a copy of myself. I'm gonna leave this. But it was so curious because at some point it started giving me fun jokes in the poems that I did not think of. And I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna keep that in my next one. I wrote a
Yes.
note. So I feel exactly what you're telling me. And my last but not least question, do you think that in 5 to 10 years, this story will still feel provocative or will it simply become the new normal?
I think that it's gonna become the new normal, and I have no idea what's gonna happen next month in terms of technology. Okay, this is one thing. I don't know how good it's gonna get. I'm sure it's only gonna get better. I'm sure it's gonna face lots of problems,
Mhm.
but I have no idea what's going to happen when once that we change the paradigm of how we produce stuff in AI, because now we are kind of stuck with LLMs and prompting. That's
Mhm.
basically like 99% of what you do with LLMs. It's human input based on text prompts, and you get a response. That's for everything, for music, for images, for LLMs, for anything.
Mhm.
So we're probably looking at new technologies in the very near future that are going to be able to perceive us as humans. I'm talking about like biosensors and microchips and everything that's going to make the interface between us, our creative freedom with the computer and programming. It's going to change everything. So I think that on the next few years, we're going to see something completely new happening. And this, I have no idea what's going to happen. But I think that if you're asking about my script, my film, I think it's maybe still going to have its place because it's about humans and what we feel about AI and what we feel about the other people that use and the people that don't use. That I don't think that's going to change. So maybe it's still gonna make sense in a few years.
Absolutely. And maybe our festival next year will be in person too. So you never know.
Wow, amazing, amazing.
Of course,
I hope you
once
do.
again, congratulations on this well-deserved award, and thank you so much for a bold and timely film. We look forward to your upcoming work and future projects.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you very
It's
much,
been a pleasure.
Ricardo.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you. Have a
bye.
wonderful day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.